Hello, Roll Mithril here once again, and it's time for the Stardroids Rematch room. Oh joy. We're also going to be answering some viewer questions if people wrote in, so that's pretty cool. Let's start with Bevol5, who asks, why doesn't Wily fill his stages with Robot Masters if he can mass-produce them? Pretty good question. I mean, after all, in this game alone, we've seen that he can mass-produce the Mega Man killers. And heck, even in the first game we saw he was mass-producing Gutsman. Really, if you consider the rematch chambers, he's at least produced everyone twice. In canon, my guess would be that it takes too much energy and too much in the way of materials to produce that many copies of all the Robot Masters. So that would be my guess as to why he doesn't do it on a regular basis. But hey, beyond that, he's an evil, mad scientist leader kind of guy. I mean, think about Bowser. He regularly employs just simple green turtles that brainlessly walk off cliffs, so what's he thinking? Who knows what an evil genius has in mind? Okay, next up we have Ragitsu, or Ragitsu. I'm really sorry, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that name. But anyway, their question is, do 1-ups just lying around trigger the 1-up curse? The answer there is no. The curse is triggered purely by the random number generator deciding to play jokes on us. It'll happen when, like, either I'll get damaged and a 1-up will immediately drop to taunt me, or one will show up, lure me into a false sense of security, and I'll get hurt soon after. Really, it's all a psychological thing. We don't really think it's a true curse. It's just a funny running gag that's come up between me and my friends that so many times we've gotten a really rare power-up like an extra life just in time to be screwed over by something really stupid. Okay, next up we have a couple of more serious questions from Tony the Tiger that I thought might be interesting to answer. First off, he asks, do you believe peace can be reinforced by force, violence, or oppression or control? The answer there is no. It really can't be enforced that way. Whoops. Okay, good. Didn't hit anything with that. Anyway, no, what you're bringing there is not peace. You're bringing fear. And so long as you're working with fear, someone will stand up to fight against it. So any peace brought by force is going to be temporary at best, and really it's just going to be fear. Do I have all the answers? No. I'm a pacifist, I'm a hippie, I wear tie-dye all the time, yeah. So I don't have all the answers, I just know you can't bring peace with fear. Okay, next he asks, can mankind as a whole be considered trustworthy? The fallacy of this question is that you're considering humanity as one entity, and within that entity you have individuals. You can't make that big a blanket statement, you just can't. Within that group, yes, you do have trustworthy people, I like to think I'm one of them, but you also have criminals, you have habitual liars, people that psychologically just cannot tell the truth. So, as a whole, I guess you can't consider all of humanity trustworthy, just because of a few bad apples. But on a case-by-case basis, yes, you can find those you can trust. So those were a couple of interesting questions. Next we have a question from Manon the 3-Up, I love that name. His question is it just me or are there a lot of MST3K references in your videos? Well, yes, there are quite a few. Obviously some of them I really mean to put in, like using the Secret Agent Super Dragon song or the Forklift song. Others, I just throw in without even really meaning to. It just happens without my knowing it, really. Mystery Science Theater 3000 is probably my all-time favorite show. I really wish it hadn't ended. There's so many more movies they should have covered, really. So, a lot of times I'll just make references to MST without even knowing it. What do you think, sirs? Okay, now some questions about the videos themselves. First, Koopa-san3, aka Shag, and also JLLC16 ask, what's next after Mega Man? That really is a good question, and one I don't really have an answer for yet, really. I haven't really considered much. One thing I have been planning, I've been thinking about maybe doing a speedrun of the original Super Mario Bros., if I could do that and make it interesting. Also, I've considered a minimalist run of the original Legend of Zelda. The thing there is I'm not sure what exactly that would constitute, what all I would have to pick up, what all I could actually leave behind. I've also considered a run of the original Metroid, since that was the first game I ever beat, and so it holds a special place in my heart. The only problem with that one is I don't know how long it would take. It has been a long time since I've played that game. Other than that, a lot of the stuff I'd really love to do, unfortunately would require me to have the ability to record off of consoles, which I don't really have. I'd love to be able to do things like Let's Plays of some of the Silent Hill games, of course Mega Man 8 and 9, but that's still in this series. I'd also love to do Mega Man Network transmission, that would be nice. Instructional videos from some of the Warriors games. There's lots I'd love to do that I just unfortunately don't have the equipment to do at the moment. So, really, as far as what follows the Mega Man series, stay tuned and find out, I suppose. He'll be probably about as much of a surprise to me as it will to you. More to the point of what I could do next, I've had Burnham and I Am Cactuar, and actually several people ask me if I had any plans to do the X series. The simple answer there is no. I just didn't enjoy the X series as much, really. X just got way too whiny and angsty for my tastes. I've never understood why it suddenly became cool to be angsty and all that kind of thing. I never understood the emo movement of characters, but X definitely fell into that category. When I'm playing a game as a super fighting robot with all these cool abilities and everything, working to save mankind, it takes me right out of the action when my character just suddenly starts whining about having to fight, and wondering, oh, how much longer do I have to do this? It really got on my nerves. As far as other Mega Man games, Kit has suggested something I could possibly do with the Battle Network games, so if I can find a way to make that interesting enough, I might do that. I really love that series and would love to give it some attention. And one final question from Martin Ferret, which I'm mainly just including here to get some answers myself, really. He's asked, what kind of equipment would I need to record off consoles? The thing there is, I'm really not sure. I'm still relatively new to making videos. That being said, any help on that regard would be appreciated. The main things I've heard of the... there's a company called Razzle that changed its name to Pinnacle, that they make external tuners that you can use. However, I've heard a lot of bad things about that company. My aunt actually had one of those cards, but was never able to really use it. So that one I think is pretty much out. There was another one, I forget the name of it, I'll edit it in later, but somebody suggested it as a possibility. But I read a lot of complaints about it actually crashing Vista systems, which is what I use. So that one might not be so good. The only other one I've actually heard of is the Adaptec Game Bridge. That one, it doesn't normally work with Vista, but I have seen a tutorial video on a way to really get it to work with Vista. That being said, that might be my best option, unless anyone knows anything better. So, you know, any kind of assistance on that, anybody who has experience with it, that'd be nice to know. So yeah, that's pretty much all the questions I was asked. Time to just kind of finish off Jupiter here. Thank you to everybody who wrote in with questions, and thank you to all my viewers beyond that. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll go ahead and use this time to say this might be my last video for a little while, just because I have some other things going on right now. Mainly the fact that I unfortunately have been summoned in for jury duty this Monday. Great fun. How is it I always have luck on the bad things? I've gotten called in for jury duty 3 times in my life, and I'm only 28. So, yeah, bugger, I ran out of things to say anyway. Oh well. Die, Jupiter, die, you're almost gone anyway. I'll miss the 2 shots, you get to attack one more time. Okay. Thankfully, we do not immediately face Wily. Instead, we end up in this hallway with lots and lots of power-ups that, as you can hear, aren't making any sounds. That means I can't carry anything else. All my weapons are full, my life is full, I have as many E-tanks as I can possibly carry. Yeah. Going down. How deep does this place go? And one final cameo. Hey, Proto Man. It's not like you can really help me, but thanks anyway. Thank you for confirming that nothing else can be powered up. And one final teleporter hatch that leads to Wily. And that'll be the next video. Right. Yeah. See you next time.
Objection!